Hey everybody, it's North again. My next video on this build, when I first showed it, I was going to keep it stock. It was going to have the pickup bed, and I was talking about keeping the dump bed. And I've talked to some people, and we came up with the idea of making a working rollback that will haul a slash. So the way you're looking at this now is just under 3 feet. No, it's a little over 3 feet, and it'll be just under 4 feet when finished, because the bed's going to be, I can't bring the number to mind right now, but the bed's going to be 21 or 23 inches, one or the other. It's going to have rollback, working rollback action. It's got a working winch, and I'm working on a easy way to make up and down power, because we're talking about, me and Kevin Martin were talking about gravity, so that it would come back to a certain point, and then at that point there'd be so much weight behind the pivot that it would just automatically do that. But I'd like to be able to put power to it just for the scale effect of it. Got some ideas, and you know, watching a lot of videos on YouTube of guys who have made these. There's a lot of ideas out there. So I've got my frame rails done, and like I said before, I paint my chassis. I don't, you know, so if it's marked up or ugly or anything, or you see marker on it, don't worry about it, because you're not going to see it when it's done. But I was sitting here and I was thinking, you know, how am I going to mount the body on the chassis? And I was thinking about using just the stock, the toy grade mounts, where there's two little ports back here where screws go up into, and I was going to just screw it right to the chassis. But I learned when I built my Winnebago that when it's all done, you still got to be able to get to everything, to work on things. If there's a problem, you don't want to be squeezing your fingers in little tiny spots trying to get this stuff. So I was sitting in the basement, and I had a door hinge, and it just dawned on me that I could mount this to a door hinge. So I figured out a way that I could get to everything. And what I did was I took the mounting, like Charles Reed had told me before, you know, don't throw a chassis out yet. You can still use the mount from the front, from the toy grade chassis. So I kept that, and I ran across, remember, right at the very front of the chassis. So I ran the hinge to the chassis, and then this way, and I mounted the toy grade mount to the hinge. I was having problems figuring out how to mount the back, and it finally came to me. But so what I can do now is, and everything on this is temporary now. The hardware, I'm going to get different hardware. I'm going to have more mounting points and everything for the cross members, but it's together right now, so I can show you. So I can take this and just lift it and tilt it. So now I can get to everything under the chassis, under the body on the chassis. So you can see, this is where I'm going to mount my trans, probably right about here. And I'll have a drive shaft going to the front axle, and then I'm probably going to have to run like a long shaft and a carrier, and then another shaft to the axle. So yeah, so there you go. I'm going to be running twin 14.4 volt DeWalt motors on this. I believe I'm going to be able to do that with the stock Summit ESC, because all the websites I've seen, and Kershaw Designs, who sells them, sells the stock ESC with it. So, you know, even with the bed all the way up, I'll be able to take this and tilt it. And these are a little long right now, so I'm going to have to trim them at some point. But I want to have everything done and ready before I go doing that. So, yeah. Alright. Once this, you know, that'll just be pinned into place like a regular RC body. Alright, so you can get a better look. See, that's all I got shown for this mounting to the body. These two screws right here, that actually hold an old set of HPI Crawler King body mounts. They have body posts that I'm not using, so, you know, why not use them? But you see, I just drilled out this cross member, so that's where these go. Up front here, you can see in the very front, that's the hinge, and where the hinge mounts to the stock mounting for the toy grade. Everything's loose right now and nothing's really tightened, and all these long screws you see hanging out, that'll all be taken care of. But right now it's just a lot of dry fitting, a lot of temporary, you know, making sure it works. And see, I mean, I can adjust my body height with the pins. I can do everything, and everything's going to be good. So my next thing is I'm going to take a piece of something, you know, like this piece of flat. I've got to figure out how to notch it, like cut a section out so wide and notch it so I can mount the trans to it on both sides, and then run them out to the frame rails to mount the chassis. So after that, I'm going to put probably a radio and ESC tray up front here, someplace to mount batteries. And it'll be all nice and easy because I got so much room. Also, you know, it looks all right now sitting. It sits kind of high on the chassis. You know, it's probably, I know me and Kevin went over measurements, and it's probably about a ½ inch taller than I thought it was going to be. I don't know if I can work on that or not, like as far as bringing it down. I'll see what I can do. But, you know, it looks okay. And remember, this is all going to be black, and with everything mounted up and everything, you're not really going to see the chassis. But also, this really helps a lot. You know, I just want you guys to see it with the scale detail it's getting with the, you know, with the accessories it has. You know, the fuel tank. It just kind of brings it more to life. You know what I mean? And that's probably about where the ride height's going to be. So it's not going to be some massive travel rock crawler or anything ridiculous like that. It's going to be able to pull a lot of weight, and it's going to look good doing it, basically. But look, this is for the other side, but I'll put it on here just so you guys can see it. Like, see, like that really does, you know, change the look of the whole thing. It makes it look more. All right, so that's it for this one. I'm got you guys all filled into where I'm going, except for one more thing. This body has been sitting in my basement, and it's gotten scratches. It's got some overspray on it from one of the kids' projects, and I gotta paint it. Everything on the inside of the body is hot glued. The windows and all that stuff are hot glued to it, except the stack and the windshield screw off. I think what I'm going to end up doing probably is masking a lot of it and just painting it. So if you guys could, please give me some ideas. What would be a good paint job for this if I wanted to use it to represent, you know, the group, so people know, you know, where this came from, and you know, give me good paint ideas, and I'll see what I can do. And I can only do so much though, too. Remember that. I'm not exactly a painter. One last thing is another month and another video. So there's going to be another contest for another Cow RC I'm No Better Than You work mat. Congratulations to last month's winner. And I'm going to be setting up a contest in the main group where there will be a separate folder where we're going to have things posted and certain rules to abide by, and just things I learned from experience from the last one. So yeah, thanks. You know, why don't you, if you could, please leave a comment, maybe like the video if you do like it, and spread it around. Get, you know, more people see it. There could possibly be more ideas. You know, I'm always good for listening to what people have to say. I'm always good for new ideas. I always like them. I'm not too good to learn something from somebody or take an idea from somebody. So once again, you know, good luck to everybody with the contest, and I hope that you have a good time with it. So, all right, thanks.